Good afternoon, flower friends. I just wanted to reach out. I know it's been a while since I've been on, but it's been busy, busy, busy. We've got about half the tunnel planted and the seedlings already, so things are moving along. The tulips that are in the tunnel are pretty much halfway done. I've got a few stragglers that are still left to bloom, but I wanted to kind of show you some things that are going on. Just a little education on tulips that are in the tunnel compared to the tulips that I'll show you in a little bit that are out in the field. So as you can see here, most of these tulips, they're different varieties obviously, but they're at different stages, but you can see the difference in height. So some varieties I try to keep at least 20 inches or more for flower cutting. What we do is we pull the bulb or the tulip up, bulb and all, if we're going to cut flowers. If you have regular tulips at home, the border tulips, those are usually on the shorter variety. Some do get tall, but you'd have to cut your stem for your tulip about, I don't know, 6 inches in order to leave enough leaf on the stem for the bulb to regenerate and to come back next year. So flower farming, this is what we do. I'm going to reach over here, and once you see that the tulip is starting to break, this is kind of an ugly tulip, but we just went ahead and pulled it. But as you can see, we pull the whole stem and leave the bulb on. Now to store these, I will just remove these bottom leaves. Kind of cleans things up a little bit, gives less for the bulb to have to feed later on. But these will go into bread crates or bulb crates that I have, and these will just lay in there, no water, nothing. They just lay in the crate on their side and keeping the bulb on. Once I go to use this, it may look a little limp, look a little tired, but simply remove the bulb, leave it, cut the stem about there, take the bulb off, throw the bulb away. The bulb is no longer any good. It will not come back next year. So those who think, oh, I'm going to save my bulbs and just keep using them, they will not work. But once you stick this in water and let it hydrate, it'll look just as good as this as the day you cut it. So that's the difference. And as you can see, the height on this one is pretty good. We try to cut these, pull these right before they pop open. Once they pop open, the vase life seems to diminish a little bit. These over here had kind of snuck up on me, but I'm going to go ahead and pull them now. Maybe. So as you can see, they've already kind of popped open. So that is kind of the difference that you see harvesting tulips for cut flowers and just leaving them in the ground and just taking the stem. If I were to take the stem off of this one for a flower, you would basically have no leaf left to regenerate the bulb. So we leave the stems on, the bulbs on, and everything. All right, I wanted to jump in the cooler and kind of show you what the tulips look like that I pulled out of the tunnel and that are stored in the crates. As you can see here, they're just laying flat. Bulb is still attached. I do remove the big bottom leaf to these stems to kind of clean things up. You can kind of get more in a crate when you remove that big leaf. But they just lay in here until I'm ready to use them. When I go to use them, I just simply pull out what I need, take the bulbs off, and once I dunk them in water, they come back to life and they have the full vase life, just as if you would have went out there and cut them out of the field. So I have plenty of bulbs, but I just kind of wanted to show you, as you can see, They just stack in here. I have the cooler on and it's set at 37 degrees, so it stays cool in here. The lights are off because tulips have a tendency to grow. Even when they're in the vase, they go to the light. So yeah, I keep it dark. I keep it cool. They stay in here. And I don't have any issues. Just whenever I need something for an arrangement, I will just reach in here, grab some, and then pull off the bulbs and arrange, and I'm good to go. Okay, so I'm out here in the field, and I planted these tulips back in the fall. These were it's supposed to be my field tulips so we can have U-picks. It's a new endeavor this year that I was going to try. We had some hiccups, and so earlier when the tulips started coming out of the ground, the deer seemed like they wanted to snack on them. Of course, it was the only green thing around, so they pretty much mowed the tops of them off as they were coming up. So before we could put the fence up, I had to do something. So I put some straw. As you can see, the mounds of straw on the sides here. They were on top of the tulips, trying to deter the deer from eating them. And it seemed to work, but unfortunately, I think it may have messed up and made the tulips a little too hot, because as you can see, these are supposed to be the same size as the ones inside the tunnel. But unfortunately, I think they got too warm too fast, and so they are on a very short stem. So if they're only going to be this short, as you can see out there too, they're not going to be good for cut flowers. If I were to cut these to make any kind of vase arrangement or anybody to come pick them, these bulbs that are in the ground will not regenerate. These bulbs were meant to stay in the ground and just naturalize and just keep making more, and just keep this as a tulip field throughout the season. Let it die back. Let the people come and cut the flowers, and just it'll spring back next year. But unfortunately, it's not going to work this year. So epic fail on field tulips this year. It's not a total loss. I'm just going to let them flower, do their thing. It'll still be pretty, but unfortunately, nobody will be able to come out here and pick them. But don't be worried. The people who have subscribed for a tulip subscription, or any kind of flowers in the shop cooler, I will have plenty of those because of the ones that are inside the tunnel. So don't fear about that. But next year, hopefully, now that we have a fence up, the deer will stay away and we won't have to worry about having to cover the tulips, and hopefully we'll have a better crop next year, and we'll have the U-pick. That's still going to be the game plan. So anyways, just wanted to jump on here and kind of just share what's going on. This is the first crop of the year, and so far it's been a good and bad mix, but there are exciting things still to come. Like I said, hopefully the ranunculus start popping up here soon. I've got a few sprouts in the tunnel, but that'll be the next crop to come. So anyways, leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'd love to hear your input or any questions. So feel free to leave your comments in the link below. Thank you.